the search fund interest came into play. It's an idea I've been kicking around for a couple of years, but then also the Keenan Reed fit into this quite well. So it's now a good time to talk about the search fund
Yeah,
route.
yeah. So let's do a couple things here.
Yeah.
First, for anybody that's watching that isn't familiar with a search and a funded search, I mean, everyone knows you can go and, buy a business, but the concept of putting some structure to it and either bootstrapping the actual search time yourself or raising before you buy and thus going in to buy with, yourself and a group of investors. Why don't you give us a little bit of the lay of the land there?
Yeah, certainly. So the whole thesis behind the search fund is, there's 10,000 small businesses changing hands a year. These aren't bankruptcies. These aren't businesses running the ground. These are quality businesses, quality jobs. It's just simply there's so many folks need to retire and sell their businesses. So there's an opportunity there for new ownership because otherwise they go into, larger private equity or simply close up shop. So to handle this next generation of ownership, this search fund model came up. And yeah, two ways to go about it, as we touched on. One is the self-funded, where we're just, burning down our savings as we are vetting these small businesses, meeting the owners, making the phone calls, and examining the deals. The other route is the funded search, in which you raise a small pool of money for investors. They get a multiple when the business acquisition actually comes into play, but that gives you a little money so you can live on and you can be a little more robust in your search and how you're going about it. So what I did was the self-funded route and looking for some part-time employment while I do that and able to earn an income to support it. And a lot of what that is, you can make it a full-time job, but it can exist just fine on kind of a part-time 5-10 hours a week you're doing the research until you have a deal on the table. From that point, you probably need full-time commitment for 2 to 3 months while you're working through that. So that model kind of fits in really nicely with the work we're doing here at Keenan Reed. Able to support that, and if thing comes up, Keenan Reed is flexible, and we'll work through it to make it work.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So you're not the first person to have done this with us. There's another woman, Leslie, who I interviewed a couple of months ago, who's a really close friend of mine from business school. She did it at a different stage in her career, but also looking, and she was self-funded, and was working with us while she was doing that. Ultimately, bought a pool cleaning business and rolled it up with a PE fund out of Dallas, and they're now on a tear acquiring all sorts of pool routes across Texas and the Southwest. So it does work. And I think it's a really popular thing to be doing right now. I actually wish I had a little bit of time to do it. I think it would be really fun to own a business like that and be an operator. The business I want to talk a bit about what you wanted to buy though, because you have a very tight investment thesis and you're looking for a really specific type of business that fits a really cool thing that you studied. So tell us about that.
Yeah, so you're touching on my background a little bit. Before the MBA, I was in food manufacturing, food process manufacturing, and my undergraduate was actually in fermentation science, alcoholic beverage production. So obviously, in the Pacific Northwest and really all around the states, craft brewing, craft distilling, and wine has blown up in the last 15 years. So this program, when I was an undergrad, was focused on that. So what I'm looking for now is craft distilleries around the state of Washington and Oregon. Same thesis as the last one. These are folks that started these businesses in
Mm-hmm.
1970, 1980, hugely successful with it, and now their only option to retire is to sell to Diageo or one of the global giants that's going to rake them over the coals and do God knows what with their brand. So the thesis we're coming in here is I want to come in, keep the business going, obviously grow the business, keep these jobs, quality jobs here in Pacific Northwest, keep these brands Pacific Northwest, and just grow it more and build on the legacy that these owners have. So we're really, really focusing in on a handful of distilleries, and it's not your 2,000 cold call emails going out. There's only maybe 200 total in the U.S. or sorry, in Oregon, Washington, and of that, you know 10-15% are open to selling in the next couple of years. So it's a really close examination. Yeah, an alternative, a subset of the search process, but the main thesis still stands.
Awesome.
Still
Well,
there. Sorry,
great.
whole
Well,
whole black screen just popped up.
yeah, I think this is really great. So thank you. I want to say thanks for your time. If anybody are you still actively searching?
Yeah,
Would
I
you
wanted to
want
get my
people to
feet.
reach out to you? That's what I'm really asking.
Yeah, 100%. I wanted to
Okay.
get my feet under me here at Keenan Reed, get established with this. Now that I feel like I have that, going to index more on the search and keep things spinning there.
Cool. Well, great. Well, where can people find you?
LinkedIn, Evan G is the easiest place. And from there, I check my messages daily. So
Cool. Or email me and I'll hook you up. So
100%.
great. Thank you so much, Evan. Appreciate the time and all the work and getting to know you.
Yeah, thank you, Lauren. It's been a pleasure.